Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a very fun video because I will be reviewing my Chanel 19. So this is the small version of the bag. I did buy this many months ago. This was, I believe, part of the 21 winter collection. Yeah, it was quite a while ago. Actually, it would have been for 22p, I think, for spring, but it comes out like in October, November of last year. Usually they're like a whole season ahead, so that's why it was for spring, but I got it in like the winter time. Anyways, I am back to share a review with this now that I've had the chance to use this for many months. I can tell you my true and honest and full thoughts of this bag and whether or not you should get it. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so if you guys have been watching my channel for a while now, then you may have definitely seen the unboxing for this bag, and I shared with you my love for it, how I felt that I was super lucky because I scored essentially the only one that they brought into Toronto, and I waited so long for this. I missed it the first time around, and I think it was like the 21 something collection, and I'm so glad I finally got it in last year's, well, this previous spring's collection. Please let me know if I'm babbling on here and if I'm saying the wrong collections. Drop it down below. Anyways, this is the much lusted after brown latte, I guess that like caramel color that everybody wanted to get their hands on. We didn't get that many in store. Managed to snag the only small size for myself, and I'm like beyond happy. Fast forward a few months later, I've definitely had the chance to test out this bag, wear it around a lot to kind of like see if it fits into my lifestyle, and I do have some thoughts on this bag. Spoiler alert, I don't love it. I know a lot of people absolutely love this bag, but for me, it just, you know what, like I like it, it's beautiful, and it's a very expensive bag, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's the bag for me. And I may be slightly swayed now that I have a proper Samorga insert inside of this, but before I started using a Samorga insert, I wasn't the biggest fan of this bag. If you guys also have this bag and you're looking for a Samorga insert, I do have a discount code for 20% off your purchase. All you have to do is use TLL20. I will include it here and also the link down below in the description box. But yeah, there is nothing that I get from that. There's no beneficial gain for me. I just merely have the code for you guys because I know you guys love their inserts and I want to be able to get you them at a slight discount. So make sure to use my code when you guys check out to get 20% off. Anyways, back to this bag. So this is a small size and it's actually surprisingly very substantial for small. It's actually like, I feel very misnamed. It's definitely not a small bag. It's fairly big. It's a lot smaller than my Hermes bag, but it's bigger than a lot of my other bags that I have. I would say that this is almost sizably comparable to the regular Chanel medium classic flaps. Like, it's weird how these are named like small, medium, large, whereas in comparison to the classic flaps, they're all like a size larger. So if you like medium size, this is a great size for you. Get the small. Clasp at the front, lift open, and it's just a single flap like that. It's really easy to get in and out of. I have no issues with it. It locks smoothly. My bag is probably the most difficult bag for me to get in and out of. It is such a pain, which is why I never fully close it. But that's not to say that I don't have problems with this bag though. So I love the leather. It is very nice and soft. I believe this is goatskin leather. I think it's quite durable. I thought it would be really gentle and fragile like lambskin. It's quite soft, but it's not like super delicate, if that makes sense. You can definitely scratch your nails on it and not leave any marks, whereas if you were to scratch a lambskin, I wouldn't even dare do this. It would literally leave marks everywhere. So the bag itself is quite durable. You can bring it around with you everywhere, toss it. It's quite sturdy. There are no feet on the bottom, so when you are putting this down anywhere on any surface, just make sure your surfaces are clean. Personally, for myself, whenever I put my bags down and I'm sitting somewhere, it goes right on my lap, or it hangs off of my chair behind me if I'm in like a private indoor setting that I know the bag won't get stolen or somebody will like try to attempt to pickpocket me. So yeah, usually this bag goes on my lap. I never actually really place my bags on surfaces unless I'm at home and I can guarantee that it's going to be clean. The back has a flap here, which is really nice. It's actually a magnetic closure flap, so it's not just something that you can slide in and out of. It actually does close properly. So if you want to put things like receipts, your bus pass, your credit cards, you probably could, although I wouldn't recommend really putting your credit card back here. It's probably safest inside the actual bag. The leather is great. There's no protection on the bottom, but it is very durable. I have worn this out in the rain. It does get a couple of splotches on it sometimes when it gets wet, and the color changes very quickly, but then it goes back to normal as if it was never wet to begin with. So I don't really have any issues or qualms with the quality of the leather. It's super durable, and I know it's going to last me a really long time. Now let's talk about the hardware. So the CCs interlocking in the front are in a gold colored hardware, and same with the top handle here. And similar to kind of like the Gabrielle bags, the 19 bags have two different colors of hardware on the strap. So I'm going to take out the strap from the inside and show you what that looks like. So on the top here, from the little top handle, it's gold. and it extends up to here till it turns into like kind of this burnished silvery aged steel looking color, goes all the way around the top handle, the shoulder handle, comes back down, and then this turns to gold again. And then weirdly enough here, there's like a small little section that's like a shiny silver. I don't know why it's like that. It's just so weird how there's like the shortest section ever that's silver. Anyways, I digress. I don't actually have any issues with the handles themselves. They're super durable. They haven't really tarnished on me. Most of them, except for this little short section here, are like that brushed texture. So you're not going to really see a lot of tarnishing. It's going to kind of look brushed all the time. I like it. It has a decent weight to it. It doesn't feel cheap. And then at the top here, where it goes over your shoulder, there's actually a little leather strap here. And I believe that's to actually protect your skin from the heavy chains. Oh, I lied, guys. There is a short little section up here that's also shiny. Strange. So it's like gold, brushed silver, shiny silver, and then brushed silver all the way down here, and then gold again before a little bit of brushed silver. Strange. I did not know it was like that. There is this leather strap on the top here that is supposed to protect your shoulder from the actual chain so you don't get indentations or pain. I believe people have complained in the past that these pure chain straps are quite heavy and painful in the shoulders, especially when bags get this big or bigger and you start to put more and more stuff in it. It starts to get heavy and will dig on your shoulders. So I do appreciate this leather strap that's built into here. It definitely alleviates a lot of the pressure from the chain on my shoulders, and I don't ever feel pain or any sort of discomfort when I'm wearing this bag. The crossbody strap is quite long. It gives you a fairly decent drop. I actually do wear this bag crossbody quite frequently. I've only really had the pleasure of wearing this bag in the winter so far because it's been wintertime since I've had it. I haven't really worn it out in the summer that much yet. So I'm not too sure if my views will change once I use this bag a lot more in the summertime and I get to wear it a little bit more crossbody. In the winter, because my jackets were so bulky, the majority of the time I wore this bag just over one shoulder like this, and here's where my dilemma comes into play. So while I do love this bag a lot, and I do definitely agree that the little leather piece on the shoulder strap helps to take away any pressure of the chain on your shoulders, my problem is that in the wintertime, because your jackets are so bulky and you do have to wear all of your bags on just one shoulder unless you're able to sling it over yourself and crossbody, when I have this on my winter jackets, and mind you, majority of my winter jackets have some sort of nylon texture on the exterior, it's slippery, and this constantly falls off my shoulder. I'm finding that I constantly have to put my hands up to readjust the shoulder strap to get it back onto here, or to hold the bag like this at the crook of my armpit, or even just like, you know when you walk and you just like press your bag down like this just to make it like tight against here so it doesn't slide off? That's my problem. It's constantly sliding off my shoulder, and I find that really annoying because one, I don't want the bag to fall off and get dirty. Two, I just don't want it to constantly slide off because it's really annoying. And three, if it's sliding off, that means it's easy for people to take this bag off my shoulder and to just run. So that's the biggest issue that I've ran into so far. And I'm curious to see if over the summer when I can wear the bag crossbody a little bit more because I'm not wearing such thick jackets on, if I will like the bag more than I do now. But at the moment, I'm at like a crossroads where I don't love the bag enough because it's such a hassle and it's constantly falling off and on my shoulders. Besides that though, I think it's a beautiful bag. Again, if you're wearing this bag in the spring, summer, and fall and you're not wearing a lot of heavy jackets, you can definitely loop the top handle over your elbow and into the crook of your elbow right here and just carry it around like this. If you want, you could, and then you can also tuck in this crossbody strap into the interior of the bag and just literally use it as like a small little side bag. It's a little too big to be worn as a night out bag, I think, unless you want like a casual night out, but for a date night, it's quite big. If I was to do like a date night bag, I want something a little bit more dainty. So this actually is going to be more of a casual bag for me. Now the overall design and look and feel of this bag is relatively puffy. As you see, the quilts are way larger than your traditional Chanel quilted bag, and that definitely gives it a more, I would say, a less sophisticated feel, but a more everyday look to the bag. So besides not being able to wear it out at nighttime, it's definitely much more of like a casual everyday bag for me. And I think the size itself, because it holds so much, it's going to definitely turn into like a mini tote. I can put a lot in here. Let's go back to the puffs a little bit. So these quilts are really big, and because they're so much larger, there's less stitching throughout the bag, which ends up causing the bag to be less structured. You have more chances for the fabric and the leather to kind of just like warp and bend as you're wearing it, which was another issue that I ran into a lot. I found that this bag is a very slouchy bag, and this is the smallest size that there is. I've tried on the medium. There's an even larger one, and even when you see that one in store and it's in the windows or displayed, it slouches and just like hunches over there. I am not the biggest fan of that look. I find that that gives it very like duffel bag vibes, and that's not what I'm looking for when I'm buying a Chanel bag. So I definitely recommend getting a Samorga insert into here to not only give your bag a little bit more shape, but to organize it as well. So those were the two issues that I really had with this bag, was the shoulder strap constantly was stripped. So the two main issues that I had with this bag was that the shoulder strap constantly fell off my shoulders and slid because it was rubbing against slippery materials such as my winter jackets. And then number two, the bag itself is just so puffy. It doesn't provide a lot of structure, and if you don't have a bag shaper on the inside, over time this bag definitely will get really slouchy and lose its texture super quickly. Similar to my Gabrielle backpack, that one does not have a lot of structure to it except for the base, and the rest of it just like slouches. I'm already on the fence as to whether or not I want to keep that bag. I kind of want to sell it now, so we'll see. I don't know how I feel about this bag just quite yet. I definitely need to try a little bit more in the summertime. I think I may fall in love with it more now that I have the insert and that it's summer and I can layer it over my outfits without feeling like it's too puffy and I had to just put it on my shoulder and then letting it slip. All right, so let's talk about the inside of the bag. It's rather roomy for what you would consider small. It's a single flap, so there's not a lot going on here. I know the double flaps take up a lot of space. It's really bulky, but because it is a single flap, very easy to open. The interior of the bag actually is not fully lined with leather. It's just the top flap here. I will take my Samorga insert out so I can show you what the inside looks like. It is essentially one big hole. So the inside has some sort of like nylon lining, which is great. You don't have to worry about it getting damaged. Similar to a lot of other Chanel bags, like the Gabrielle backpack, it has that same fabricy material. There's not much in terms of organization when it comes to this bag on the interior. You do have a singular zip pocket here on the back. I don't usually really use these zip pockets. I did before to put my authenticity cards in, but now that Chanel's no longer giving out authenticity cards and they're using like RFID tags for their bags, I don't really have much of a use for that pocket because my credit card is always in my card holder, which I just throw into here. So these pockets end up kind of rendering useless for me, but I don't have an issue with that. It's great to know that there's one there for you if you ever need one down the road. So on the inside of this bag, you will have the little RFID tag. I'm gonna cover the number just so that you guys can't, just so that any sort of, so on the inside there's a so inside here is the RFID kind of like little card. I'm just covering the numbers so that anybody who makes counterfeits can't go ahead and take this number. But yeah, it's spacious. It's a giant hole. There's a lot that you can put into here, and it's really easy to get things lost in here, which is primarily why I liked having my Samorga insert. So not only does this have compartments in here where I can organize, such as like putting my wallet here, putting my Presto card, any extra credit cards I want easy access to, and then throwing the rest of the things in the main pocket, such as my keys, my lip balm. It also provides great shape to the bag because the bag is so slouchy. So this is what happens when I take the insert out of the bag. It has literally nothing in here right now, and if I literally just have a lip balm rolling around, it can slouch like this. It's like not the best structured bag. Like look how much it flattens itself. Over time, this is not going to retain structure. You're going to lose the overall integrity and shape of the bag, and that essentially ends up devaluing the bag for you. So if you want to keep the value of this bag nice and high for a long period of time, definitely get yourself an insert to kind of like keep its shape nice and clean and fresh as if you just got it out of the box yesterday. All right, so that already feels better. I put the insert back in and the bag already feels a lot sturdier to me. Back inside, it doesn't slouch as much. It has nice structure to the base now, so I can comfortably put this on my shelf sitting like this, and I know it won't bend forward or backwards because there's something inside holding it up. Obviously, you can always put the dust bag inside. What I've heard is some people just kind of like scrunch it and roll it up and then put it into this bag to kind of puff it out a little bit so that it helps retain its shape, but my best recommendation is just put an insert in because then you can use that all the time, even when you're out, to organize the interior of your bag. Let's talk about the overall capacity of this bag now. So I did say this is a small size in the 19, and it's fairly large though in the grand scheme of things for like crossbody handbags. This falls within the same size as the medium classic flaps, but on the exterior, if you look carefully at this, it is not a full rectangle with the same base width at the bottom and at the top. The top actually is a little bit more slender, so it's kind of like a trapezoidal shape. So when you're opening it to take things in and out, the opening at the top is actually a little bit smaller than what you can actually put inside of the bag. I don't have any issues with this though because it is such a large opening to begin with, so I never really have any troubles or struggles taking things in and out of this bag. I just wanted to warn you guys in case you thought that it was a full rectangle from the bottom straight up to the top. So the very last thing I want to share is the price and my thoughts on this bag. So far at this moment, this is most likely the most expensive bag that I own, and I believe the price has actually even gone up more since the last time I purchased it. So I think when I purchased this bag is around $69.50 or something like that, and then after tax it's quite close to $8, which is in my mind ridiculous. I remember when I was a teenager and I was looking at Chanel bags, they were like $2,000-$3,000, and in my head I already thought that that was a ridiculous amount of money to pay for a bag. Now with all the price increases, they're almost $10,000. I think it's insane because the quality has not necessarily gone up. From what I've heard, if anything, the craftsmanship and the quality of the materials have actually gone down over the years, whereas brands such as Hermes have retained the overall quality of their products and Chanel hasn't really. So if you think about it, what is really justifying the cost of constantly increasing these bags? Nothing really, besides the fact of like a small issue of inflation. In the grand scheme of things, these bags should not have doubled or tripled in price in such a short period of time, because inflation doesn't necessarily work within those numbers if you really compare the two. Chanel is just essentially increasing their prices to astronomical prices per bag so that a lot more people can't afford them anymore. They're trying to make the bags a little bit more exclusive, the brand itself a little bit more exclusive, and if you can really think about how much you can get back for a lot of these bags, I don't necessarily think it's worth it. Now, because this is such like a rare limited color and they had such like a limited run of these ones, they only ever produced them for those two collections. And Chanel's also notorious for being known to not necessarily replicate colors from one collection to the next. So if you miss out on one collection, you probably won't be able to get a hold of that bag again unless you luck out and there's a boutique that carries it somewhere, or you're able to find it on the secondhand market. I think this is one of the few times when they re-released this exact shade of caramel because it did so well the first time around. So I think because it's such like a beautiful color and considered like rare in the realms of Chanel, I personally think this bag is a little bit more worth it. If I was to get the black, I don't know if I necessarily would have wanted to pay that much, because black is a staple color for this style and they always have it available. So in my head, I just feel like because it's a little bit rarer, it's a little bit more worthy of that price tag. Do I still agree that this bag should be priced that much and you should be spending that much? Absolutely not. But do I think that there is some good investment into these bags? I think so. I've looked on the secondhand market and these bags are like almost $10,000 USD starting now, especially for this color and this size. So that translating back into Canadian is like $11,000 to $12,000, which is about like 1.5 of what I paid for this bag. So in the long run, if I do ever really need to sell this bag, I mean, I guess I could and I can get like profit back on it, but will I actually ever sell this bag? I don't know. And at the moment, because I'm not getting enough wear out of it and I don't know if I actually even want to sell it down the road, that's what's kind of giving me a little bit of buyer's remorse, even though I know this bag color is so rare and it's such a beautiful bag to begin with. So I think I do need a little bit more time this summer to kind of settle down, use this bag some more, to get some more experience wearing it, just so I know what it's like to actually wear it in the summertime versus the winter when it gave me a lot of troubles. Who knows? I might actually really like this bag a lot more once I get the chance to fully play around with it and wear it out more. I mean, in the past couple of years, we've all essentially been stuck at home, and I think I slowed down on my bag acquisition just because I didn't have anywhere to wear them to. But now that restrictions have been more or less like lifted, travel international is becoming a way more prevalent thing again, and you can go out and about freely to do stuff, I have more reason ever than to play with all of my bags. So now that I have a purpose to use them a lot more, I may actually fall in love with them a lot more. So those are my thoughts on my Chanel 19 in the small caramel color and size. I know that that might be a little bit of a divisive review, because I know some people either like really love the bag or they completely hate it, the way I absolutely hate the Chanel 22 right now. I think that bag looks like a glorified garbage bag. But if this bag is currently on your wish list, and if you happen to also want this exact color, I hope that this review was helpful in aiding you in making your final decision as to whether or not you are open and willing to splurge for the bag, because it is a very expensive bag and I don't think anybody should make these purchases lightly. I do get mad at myself whenever I make a purchase for a bag that's expensive and I feel a tiniest bit of buyer's remorse. So yeah, it's not the best in the situation, and I'm really hoping that I end up liking the bag a lot more after the summer when I wear it out more. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it helpful. Let me know if you have this bag for yourself, if you have this exact color and size, or if you have a different color and size, and if I should even like look into getting the medium size or even like the large size. Is it worthwhile? They're so freaking expensive and I already don't really love this bag. I just like to know what your thoughts are, and if you love the bag, If you hate the bag, let me know down below in the comments. If you love the bag, please tell me why. If you absolutely also despise it, I would love to know too. And if we have commonalities into what we really don't like about the bag, we can join forces and unite and kind of just like celebrate the fact that we fell into the trap of Chanel bags. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you want to see more of me, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I post on both of those platforms quite frequently. Otherwise, if you guys want to see more of me on here, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. That way you get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. I'm trying to stay on track with uploading twice a week. It is getting very hard with a newborn, but we can do it, guys. I'm skipping a couple uploads here and there. Please forgive me, but I'm trying more or less to stay as consistent as possible. Thanks again for watching this video. If you guys have stuck around this long to the very end, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are my favorites. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will see you in the next video. Love you.